Hello everyone, I'm Pratibha, Assistant Professor of English, KLP College, Rewari. In the series of these video lectures, we have discussed various aspects of the play The Merchant of Venice, which is prescribed for BA 6 semester students of various universities of Haryana. So we have been discussing the questions from this play, some characters also we have discussed, and we have also discussed very important scenes from the play. Today we are going to discuss a very important character from the play, The Merchant of Venice, the character of Shylock. The discussion on the play can never be completed without discussing Shylock as a major character from the play. So let us start. Shylock is a very important character in the play. Not only in the play, in fact, he is very famous in the entire history of English literature. So we can say that it is the most important character, very dynamic and vivacious character from the play. Some critics believe that the word merchant in the title of the play, The Merchant of Venice, it refers to him. It refers basically to Shylock. He holds that much importance in the play that the word merchant, maybe it was used for him. That is what some critics believe. So he is a Jew indulged in money lending business in the 16th century Venice. Before we start discussing his character, the qualities or the traits of his character, we have to keep this little background in our mind. I'll just tell you about some backdrop against which we have to discuss this character. We need to take all these facts into consideration. That usually was prohibited to Christians. It is the story set in 16th century Venice, when usually was prohibited to Christians, but it was the only means of livelihood for Jews. Intolerance of Jews was a fact of 16th century life. We see in the entire Europe, Christians were intolerant of Jews, and Venice, which was in fact a very liberal city of Europe, was no exception. So Jews lived in ghettos outside the city, and the doors of the city were closed after sunset, and they were guarded by Christians so that no Jew can enter after sunset. So Jews were not allowed to own property, so they practiced usury. That means the lending of money at interest. So we need to keep all these factors, all these points and facts in mind before we start discussing the character of Shylock. We have to be mindful of all these things when we discuss this character, who is basically representative of Jews of 16th century. So let us start with the traits of his character. He is money-minded, selfish, and usurer. We know these characteristics are very evident in the play. Business is always on his mind. He wants to earn money by hook or by crook. Most of his money comes from usury. He lends money at high rates of interest. He also hates Antonio because he gives money without interest. Now, Antonio gives money without interest because it is not allowed in Christianity. So he is a true Christian. But that doesn't matter to Shylock. He hates him because he doesn't give money on interest, and then it actually becomes it is a negative thing for Shylock, because then people would not come to him for taking money. So he hates Antonio because of that reason. Because Antonio also saved some debtors from his clutches by giving them money so that they can pay Shylock and free themselves from his clutches. So money is basically his passion. He is obsessed with his bargains, and by bargains we mean his earning. He is obsessed with money. So this is the first trait of his character which gets highlighted in the play. Now let us look at Shylock as a father. Now, Shylock's daughter Jessica doesn't hold him in a very high opinion, very high esteem. She doesn't have a very good opinion of her father. So she calls her house a hell, feels ashamed to be his daughter. She runs away with money, and Shylock is more concerned about the jewels than the daughter. So we see the reasons are obvious, why Jessica hates him so much. The reasons are obvious. Evident from the what he says to Tubal, this is dialogue from the play. I would my mind were dead at my foot and jewels in her ear. So he's more concerned about the jewelry that she's taken along with her rather than the safety and well-being of his daughter. So as a father, he doesn't leave a very good impression on us, on the readers and the audience. He's cunning, he is revengeful, and he's hypocrite. Now, these are also very typical traits of Shylock's character, and we all would agree with these points as far as Shylock's character is concerned. He's cunning, he pretends to be friendly and calm, but deep inside he nurses extreme hatred for Antonio. We can give examples from the text when Antonio comes to meet him for the first time. He says, "Oh, you are my friend," and things like that. And then he has, he says these things aside. If I catch once upon the hip, I will take revenge and all that. He's hypocrite. He says about Antonio, "Oh, how like a fawning publican he looks when he meets him for the first time." And then he smiles and says, "Oh, Senor Antonio, your praise was the last word in our mouths." So he is hypocrite. He's malicious. He doesn't have any good thing about Antonio ever in his mind. He makes Antonio sign a dangerous bond, quote unquote, in merry sport, but actually he wants to kill him. And he shows no mercy towards Antonio in court. So we know that revenge has always been on his mind. Some redeeming qualities. Now, what do we mean by redeeming characteristics? The characteristics that counteracts or corrects his negative qualities. That he has all the negative qualities, but some good qualities also, which negate, corrects something negative. So there are some good points about him. He loves his race and religion. He's a believer who follows certain principles and sets of principles and rules of Judaism. That is one point. He's loyal to his religion. That is the first redeeming quality we can say. There is some depth and dimension in his character. He's piteous also. He's spat on, called names in the play. They call him dog. Christians, all the Christians in the play are seen calling him dog, devil, wolf, cur, misbeliever. All the characters, Christian characters, basically Antonio, and there is Bassanio and Bresciano, all of them are calling him names, but he ignores all this and he's never seen calling Christians by any such names. And he wants to be accepted. In few points, at certain places in the play, we see that he has a desire to be accepted. He says, "I want to forget my shames and supply your present wants," but he would not hear me. It is actually true. It is basically Antonio who is not ready to be friends with him, because when Shylock says, "I offer a hand of friendship," Antonio says, "No, do not lend money to me as your friend, but lend it to thy enemy." Right? I would not like to be friends with you. So it is not basically from Shylock's side. The hatred is more from Antonio's side, because Christians have this deep hatred for Jews, which goes back to the history, of course, to the time of Jesus Christ. Because Christians believe that people who were responsible for hanging Jesus Christ, who were responsible for his crucifixion, were Jews. So it goes back to that time. So let's come back to Shylock. Speeches about discrimination show how much suffering he has undergone. It's a very famous speech, "Have the Jew not eyes," from the play. It's his plea for equality. So we see how much he has suffered and how much he wants to be accepted as a normal human being. Equality. It is basically a request for equality. If he hates Antonio, he has a good reason for that, because Antonio hates him more than he hates Antonio. So this can all come under the redeeming qualities point. Now, this is a very important aspect of Shylock's character. He is more sinned against than sinning. Now, what do we mean by this phrase? It means that he's less guilty or responsible than others in the play who have done something wrong. He hasn't done anything wrong as such. He had plans to do that, but he was not successful. There are other characters in the play who were more, malicious than him. So interestingly, this particular phrase comes from Shakespeare himself. in the play King Lear, when Lear wonders about the heat during a terrible storm and complains of his plight, that is when he utters this phrase. And it has come to mean that anybody who is less guilty than others, less guilty or responsible than others, basically, who are more guilty of doing more wrongs in a particular situation or a play. So he is more sinned against and sinning, because there are other characters who have done more wrongs than Shylock has. So Hudson, a critic, calls him a tragic character. He is more sinned against and sinning. In the trial scene, we see that he is outnumbered against Christians and he is a minority. The punishment imposed upon him is so unfair. His religion, he is asked to convert to Christianity, which was uncalled for, which was not required. And his religion, his faith was so integral to his soul and his identity. This was something really unfair, converting him to Christianity. So all the readers feel sympathy for him, and it was unjustified. They took his property and everything, but they also converted him to Christianity, which was not required. More sin against and sinning, we have some points here. All the characters commit sin in the play. He is not the only one. According to the 10 Commandments, which are golden rule for Christians to live, in the Bible, the New Testament, there are some of them are thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But doesn't Antonio do that? He's a true Christian, but does he follow this commandment? He doesn't love Shylock. Another commandment says thou shalt not steal, but Jessica is one character who steals money. She steals and runs away. The one commandment also says that you will honor your parents, but Jessica rebels and runs away. So she's also committing a sin. He says to my own flesh and blood to rebel against me. So something bad that has happened here with him. She was his only child. He doesn't commit any such sin as these characters are doing, other than thou shalt not covet. And there's this Buddhist saying that hate the sin, not the sinner. And he's not that big a sinner. He had plans in his mind, but he's not able to execute those plans. So he's not able to carry them out. So, and there are other characters who are committing more sins. So it is not justified to say that Shylock is the most evil character. Now there's a very popular debate as far as Shylock's character is concerned, whether he's a victim or he's a villain. Now, victim versus villain debate regarding Shylock's character. Is he a victim or is he a villain? Yes, his name comes to our mind when we think about one villain who is in the play. If there's one villain in the play, it is definitely Shylock. There's no other character who fits the bill. But then, don't you think that he's also a victim of his religion, of the fact that Christians were so intolerant of Jews, and when they got a chance to take it out on him, they did not spare him, and they were so merciless. So this is a debate which I would like all of you to think about and form your own opinion about it, based